All right, pretty short list here for Thursday, which would be December 10th. I'm showing you the SPY real quick. Not that pretty. This purple line is the 200-day. I don't have the 50-day on here, but it is literally sitting right at the 50-day. All right, and that's the last moving average. I keep the 20, the 8, the 200, and this is the 60. But I usually use that on my 5-minute chart. It's not meant for the daily, but and the 50-day. So it is almost. I could actually slide my small version of the daily chart up here. That orange line is the 50-day. So we're pretty much close. How's that for some great English? I'm pretty much close to breaking down below all relevant moving averages. So keep that in mind. The SPY is not acting that great right now. Had a decent day today, but I don't have a great list for tomorrow. Let's go into it now. Bear with me 1 second here. Okay, let's start with EYES, which had, this is a thinner stock, lower float. You can see this kind of big volume spike 4 days ago. Barely broke 1 million shares, so that'll show you how thin this thing is. But I do like the fact you've got a lot of consolidation right around the $5 area, and it tried to break out, came back, and another little volume spike today. So let's go to 15-minute candles. And so here was a spike today, and then it put in a lower high in the afternoon, and then the market closed. So you've got this big spike to 630 on a 15-minute basis. You have a lower high here, 565, and then this afternoon a little bit of a lower high, 557. So in my notes, I already have 558 as a potential catalyst, because if we get over that afternoon high, good chance we rip right through the highs from today, which would be 566, and then maybe retest this 630 area. When EYES gets moving, as you can see back here, it can really move pretty quickly. You always want to trade, carefully and smaller and limit orders when you're trading these lower float stocks, though. All right, PIRS, really nice pop on. Let's see, this would have been Tuesday, and then a kind of a quiet inside day on Wednesday. Closed at 269. Again, I like to go to 15-minute candles, and you kind of picture a trend line here. Chose the wrong one. Meant to hit trend lines. And you kind of picture the trend line right there, okay? So I kind of like it if it breaks this trend line. In my notes, I put like 284. Anywhere in the low 280s, you might start retesting this pop-up from, again, that was what, Tuesday, which hit a high of 308. So, this one's interesting. And I like the relative strength. So let's keep that one on watch. It's PIRS, TERP. Really nice pop today. Really big volume, 16 million shares. Just want to watch this really for the next several days going forward, but maybe a red to green or something tomorrow. I put this on our gap playlist this morning, and it met all the parameters I looked for. It was acting pretty well, and I just called it, these are 2-minute candles, I just called it long over the high of this 2-minute candle, 922 with a stop at 901. So only 21 cents risk, and there's the trigger, and it just ripped. Went all the way up to 1160-ish, I think, yeah. And so really kind of held the gains pretty well on a fairly weak day. Quick glance at the SPY again, you can see the SPY sold off, and then really didn't catch much of a bounce all afternoon. So really nice relative strength for TERP. So again, maybe a red to green, something like that tomorrow. I want to watch that one. And again, keep that one on watch for the next several days if it doesn't give any kind of trade tomorrow, because that was a great little volume spike. Okay, OHRP, after this big pop, it kind of meandered down to the 20-day and had a decent pop today. I like to switch to 15s again here. Pan out a little bit. So there was the big pop, lower high, then some nice consolidation. Now you're starting to put in a little bit higher highs and higher lows. So this, if this can get through this afternoon's consolidation over 428, it might just head back up. I like the bounce today. I like the relative strength today. So, let's keep that on watch. And again, I like it, over today's high, which would be 429. I don't live and die by these numbers because I don't know if it's going to gap up or gap down. So I put these numbers in my notes. I don't need that old line on there anymore. I put these numbers in my notes, but with the understanding that I don't know how it's going to open tomorrow, or if the whole market's going to be weak. So, take a lot of things into consideration, but it's still kind of nice knowing these numbers. SPWR, well, a good 4 or 5 days down in a row, starting to get big volume and getting fast to the downside. I sure like it if it can get down around these lows, which were 22.17. So somewhere around 22 bucks, this one becomes interesting for a possible, reversal back up and intraday reversal play. So I want to watch SPWR. And then finally, my last one, Electronic Arts EA. Big push down today. Had a nice bounce play call in it midday, and it really gave it like almost $1, maybe even a little more than $1 bounce in a very short period of time from the area I called it, but ended up coming back down and had nice support here. I have that line there. But if it does lose Wednesday's lows tomorrow, you do have the 200-day right here, and you have a recent low. So anywhere in this area, I definitely, so if this were to flush at the open, I'd be watching this area. As a matter of fact, I can take this line and move it down. And this is kind of an interesting area. Sometimes these things will flush down through the 200-day and then come back up and revisit them, and sometimes leave a bottoming tail. So I want to watch that one too. And that's it. That's my list. I'm hoping we'll find some gappers, because I usually have a bigger list than this, but hopefully we'll find some gappers. TERP wasn't even on my watch list today and ended up being my best trade and my best call of the day. So a lot of times in the mornings, we ended up catching a gapper that ends up being, the most important setup of the day. And maybe these overnight lists don't end up even coming into play. So we'll see how it goes. All right. Trade safe out there. Trade small. Be careful. The market's pretty choppy. And so, always play defense. That's what I teach my members, and it's absolutely what I live by when I trade. Play defense first. Think about how much can I lose if this trade goes wrong versus how much can I gain if it does what I hope it'll do. All right. Defense is most important if you're into the idea of longevity as a trader. All right. I'm done babbling. We'll talk to you tomorrow.